All right. Peace and welcome, beautiful people. Peace and welcome, family. Today, we are reclaiming our softness. Today, we are reclaiming our softness, okay? Uh, the world and our experiences has literally told us that softness is weakness. Listen, we've been taught that to be soft is to be weak, especially as women. Especially as women, this is what we've been taught. But we have to remember that there is so much power in softness, and it can be so healing. Softness is so healing, right? And softness doesn't mean that we're collapsing or like we're playing small, but it means we are uh, graceful, right? The biggest word that I would attribute to softness has to be grace. But that's going to be a whole nother conversation, okay? Pieces. Hey, Iman. So glad to have you here, my girl. Shout out to all the ladies who will make who will make contact with this content. I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you for being a part of this community. Okay. So listen, y'all let me know in the comments when you hear not the comments, the chat right now. Let me know in the chat when you hear the word soft, okay, what does that mean? Or what comes to mind for you? And then listen to my tea. Y'all know I'll be drinking this yogi tea. It says, may this day be the day to lead us to peace, to happiness and joy. How divine and aligned is that? Right? Y'all know when you drink your tea, you always got you a little oracle reading for the day. Whenever you drink your tea, trust me, you got your little oracle reading for the day. And mine, and yours for the day, because you're here spending this time with me, right? It says, may this day be the day to lead us to peace, to happiness, and to joy. Okay? And if you're starting your day with me, in this wonderful conversation about, how to bring up and how to reclaim that feminine energy and that softness, then to me, naturally, right, I would feel like the joy, the happiness, the peace, the pleasure, okay, that I desire to experience in my life is going to come from a certain level of softness being embodied, right? Because we wouldn't be having this conversation and getting this message if there weren't some synchronicity and some synergy and alignment there, right? So softness is absolutely a major key and a major player in being able to manifest and experience that which you desire. Okay. So when y'all come in, definitely let me know in the comments what softness means to you or what comes to mind. Okay. For most of you, well, let me say this. The reason why this question is so important is because we've been taught to armor up, to survive, right? Instead of thrive. That's the nature of humanity, is to focus on your survival. But you women, right? You women who are spiritually attuned, who understand that you are a soul having a human experience, for you women who are on a journey to really understand yourself more and to learn to embody more of who and what you are on a divine level, you understand that survival is not the way you're meant to live, to just be in that frequency. Like, and understand that that's not your nature. It is your nature to excel, to thrive, to go beyond, to break limits. You understand what I mean? So we've been taught, though, that being hard or being tough or being strong, armoring ourselves up, feeling the need to protect, to defend, to control, right? We've been taught that these are the methods that we are meant to live in. These are the things that get us from surviving into thriving. You know what I mean? But we have to know and understand that softness, right, is like Play-Doh. It's like water. Softness is our feminine energy. It's our nature, right? And it's the part of us that is actually able to be molded, transformed, adaptable. It's that part of us that can shapeshift. We're like Play-Doh, right? And so when we are hard, when we're rigid, when we're stern, it's difficult for us to become who and what we've been called to be, right? So softness is literally the antidote to the hard life, right? To the struggle life. Softness is it. But I think there's this misconception. I think there's this misconception that the aesthetic of softness is the answer to the questions that you've been having, right? Looking gorgeous, nails done, hair did, the relationship or the look of a healthy relationship or the look of abundance, that's the answer. Many women have been taught that if you can pursue all of those things, that will protect you from this fight or flight that happens, right? But we know spiritually that that's not how it works, okay? The physical does not dictate the spiritual, but vice versa. So how we are able to create selfness and safety within ourselves, how we are able to feel abundant and luxurious ourselves is the marker for our experience of that holistically, okay? So I just love this conversation because we're seeing so much of it. And I feel like it's important for us as spiritual women to understand what it really is to be soft, right? I think soft life, obviously that's an adjective, but softness is the embodiment. We gotta sit with that one. Yes. Answer me this question, ladies, in the chat. Which energy do you feel safer in? Do you feel safer in masculine energy, the doing energy, the effort energy, the drive energy, or do you feel safer in the feminine energy, the more receptive, the unknown, the flow? Which one do you feel safer in? Just inquiring, right? I know I could tell you 100% me, I feel safer in feminine energy. It's just my thing. That's just my nature. Loving, nurturing, being introspective, caring, loving, even teaching and having these conversations, straight feminine energy. It's like my total jam, right? It's where I would prefer to reside. But, excuse me, I understand the importance of masculine energy. And listen, I am constantly working on my masculine energy. It's so funny, y'all. Before I came live, so a part of my masculine energy that I'm working on, and I find myself constantly having to remember, is my timeliness, okay? I'll get to a place on time, and then it's like little things will happen that'll create like small delays. Like, for example, I wanted to be here on live with y'all at like 10, between 10:10, 10:15, and I come and get on the computer and it is running so damn slow. I'm like, you see what I'm talking about? Right? Like, so my feminine energy says, okay, I'm going to do a little bit of makeup. I'm going to do little last minute things with the kids. I'm going to make me some tea. This is what I need to get into my flow and to get into my bag, right? But the masculine energy has to come in and say, Desiree, now you know that computer's slow as hell. You need to get up there 10 minutes prior to when you want to go live, because if you do not, if you try to get up there 3 minutes before it's time to go live, you're not going to, start up at the time that you desire to start up, because the computer, you have to plan ahead, right? And because that's something that I'm consciously working on, I have to put myself in position to be successful at that. All right. Here's what I mean. If I know I need my tea, gotta make sure the face is giving what it needs to give, gotta make sure I look how I want to look, gotta make sure that I'm prepared with what I have to say mentally, spiritually, emotionally. I have to make sure that I'm in the right space to get online and communicate a message to you, right? That's feminine energy. In order to best support myself in doing that, I need to get a faster computer. I need to do whatever. Either I need to make an investment to get a new one, or I need to get an external hard drive to pull some of because y'all know we've been making videos for years on this computer. A lot of our classes, a lot of our past meetings with one-on-one clients are saved on this computer. This computer and everything in it is important to our work. So we understand why it procrastinates, right? We understand why it moves slow. Its storage is filled. We got to get rid of some stuff. Now, that's a multi-layered spiritual concept right there. And so let me just put that in there for you ladies. If something is not moving fast enough, right? Let's say if it's your abundance. If your abundance is not coming in fast enough, something has to be released to let in that, that quantum leap or that speed. Something has to be let go of, whether it is, or let's even say your love. If your love is not growing at the pace that you would like it to grow, obviously there is some sort of congestion there that needs to be released to let more to flow in, right? So my computer right now, on one hand, is telling me, okay, Desiree, keep letting go, right? So I can go through these videos if it's from 2019, or if I already got it stored online, it's already on another platform, it's already being sold for y'all to get that class, for you to buy it. If I already have it there and it's already operating, I don't have to keep it here, right? I don't have to keep holding on to something that is already, let's say, ran its shelf life. Okay. But on the other hand, just saying, if I did that masculine work to clear up space on the computer, to get an external hard drive, then it makes way for me to exist in that femininity easier, right? So we absolutely need both energies. And when we're talking about softness, softness is being able to understand what areas of your life you're needing to transform and expand, right? And softness is your willingness to do it, right? This is why y'all remember tell me in the comments, what are some names that we used to call kids that would not learn their lesson, right? Or what is a phrase, or what is a saying that we used to say, or we used to hear? I never said it with my kids, but we used to hear older people say this saying, a hard blank makes a soft blank, right? Right? A hard head makes a soft ass, right? And so that, again, is just one of those genius sayings, right? When we're talking about softness from a feminine perspective, we're talking about a heart and a mind that is open, that is receptive, right? That is loving, that is nurturing, And that also is allowing, right? She trusts what she receives, right? She trusts her divine guidance. She trusts God. She doesn't have to fight the world because she trusts God. Okay, listen. This is one of those things. I was observing this with a young lady that I work with, and I really adore this young lady because she's so sweet. But I'm starting to recognize now that I have to redirect our conversations, right? Because every day when I see her, the first thing she says is, I got to talk to you about something. And I'm like, I try to say things to try to hint at her to know, like, let's talk about things that are positive, right? So I said, girl, if you got something positive to share with me, I'm all open for it. I love to hear it. And then she goes, no, girl, I got into it with so-and-so. Or no, girl, he did this to me. Or no, girl, I had a bad day at school today. I mean, even yesterday, it came to a head where my spirit was like, that's it. This is the end. Transform the conversation that we're having. Because while I want to support her, I can't support a person who only wants to be in a fight or flight response. Right? I like the women that I am meant to work with, they're no longer choosing to fight the world, right? They're choosing to see the world from the highest perspective. They're choosing to see themselves from a divine and high perspective. They are able to hold themselves accountable. They recognize when there's something within their bodies, within their nervous system, that attaches them to a certain identity, right? They recognize, okay, there's some patterns, there's some loops, there's some habits that I need to break in order to create my ideal life and my ideal situation. They don't keep banging their heads up against the same thing. They're willing to be honest with themselves and say, all right, enough's enough, right? I'm over it, moving on. And then within that, they have a grace and a care and a love for themselves to not just say it, but to actually do the work, right? So I've had to tell this young lady, I've told her so many different ways, don't see it like that, right? Don't assume the worst, right? And we're still having the same conversation. There's a hardness to her heart, right? That perceives the world in a space of everybody's against me. And not even just everybody's against me, but a craving to fight, a desire to fight. And it's a twisted psychology, because a part of the desire to fight is just a desire to be loved, right? It's a desire for, and it's a belief that you have to fight to get what you want. If you don't fight, you can't have what you want. Right? I heard a lovely teacher that I follow, that I am, I don't even want to say I follow, but who I learned a lot from on here, the Universe Guru. I'm sure y'all have heard of her before, on YouTube. She positions it as permission, persecution. Oh, when I heard these words, I was like, oh my God, this is genius. But I was able to see it from other perspectives as well, like the young lady I'm speaking of right now that I work with. How the Universe Guru explains it, she says it's when you want something, when you desire something, but something negative immediately follows. I talked about, it's funny because we're speaking the same language, but we say it in a different way, right? The other day when I did my video, I talked about triggers and how you may have a thought about something you desire, and then right after that thought, something negative happens, and how that is really just an opportunity to grow. That's how I worded it in my video. It's just a message from your higher self, kind of letting you know that there's some sort of attachment to your growth, your abundance, your whatever, that attaches itself to something negative has to happen, right? It's like right when you affirm you want something, there's these beliefs that come through that says, oh, this might be hard, or somebody's going to have to be something, or someone is going to have to be sacrificed for it. And it makes you afraid to pursue your desires. She worded it as permission persecution or permission punishment, something like that. And I thought it was so genius. And it's a part of what a lot of us do as women until we recognize what's happening and push through either way and choose to stay in a positive, high vibrational frequency and choose to still do that thing that you said you were going to do, right? So a lot of times what women do is they'll create an issue first so that they can pursue and push further. So instead of it being, I want something, and then a negative thought happens, they create the negativity to make them push and pursue something different. Let me know in the comments if that is making sense. Right? Let me know in the comments if that is resonating. Okay. But I had that experience with this young lady, and it just helped me to realize that sometimes this energy of fight or flight can really put you in a loop and stop you from being able to transform and transmute and evolve into the woman that you desire to be. Okay? So, I think from everything that I've even just shared, you understand why softness is important. Softness is the yin to the world's yang, okay? Softness is the harmony between both structure and flow. 100%, if you want to live a soft life, you have to have structure and flow, the masculine and the feminine. You cannot, it will not work in just feminine. It won't. I'm telling you from experience. I'm telling you from somebody that has been there. It will not work if you only have feminine energy. There are so many opportunities that are being missed when you don't have masculine structure within yourself. I'm talking about within your own sovereignty, right? Within your own sovereignty. If you don't have that masculine structure, things are going to be missed. And then on the opposite side, because there are many women in this video right now who are more so in their masculinity. They know how to grind. They know how to work. They know how to make it happen, but they do not know how to rest. They do not know how to flow. They do not know how to allow. They do not allow themselves to be supported, right? And so you have to learn to weave both of those worlds in order to truly embody a level of softness and a soft life, right? Because softness is a willingness to just be introspective and to look at yourself. Softness is a willingness to allow other people to support you, right? And so if you've been a woman heavy in her masculine, receiving support is a foreign thing and it's out of balance. And then if you've been a woman strictly in her feminine, then there means there's a sense of codependency there, right? Which stops you from being the whole sovereign being that you are meant to be, right? Softness is a requirement, really. It just is. So let's talk really quickly about 4 ways or 4 steps or 4 things that you can start doing immediately to reclaim your softness and your feminine energy and the life that sprouts from that. Let me tell you, step number one, when it comes down to reclaiming your softness is you have to become aware. That's it. Awareness is number one. Awareness is number one. Put in the comments or in the chat awareness for me if you are in the building, because listen, if you can become aware, if you can become in, and when we're talking about awareness, we're talking about a multi-leveled layer of awareness. We're talking about one, being aware of where you are as far as your frequency. What space are you thinking from? What space are you feeling from in this exact moment, right? Are you thinking and feeling from a place of truth, divine truth? Are you in your authenticity? Or are you being something that you feel like you have to be to fit whatever situation or circumstance you are in? Awareness is so important. Awareness is, in this present moment, am I taking action that is in alignment with the goals and the desires that I have? Or is the action that I am taking right now in alignment with the space and place that I'm leaving, that I no longer resonate with, that I no longer want to be my identity? Awareness is so key. You have to be willing to ask yourself, in this present moment, am I controlling, right? Or am I flowing? Am I allowing or am I resisting? Those are great questions to ask yourself in any given moment. If you could ask yourself those questions in any given moment, you are putting yourself in position to win. That's it. You're putting yourself in position to win if you could bring yourself into awareness. Number two. Ooh, this is so good. Number two is so good. You have to be able to soothe yourself. How do you bring yourself into a state of peace? Because you want to know something? Our next level, our embodiment of softness and the fruition and all the gifts that come from that comes from us regulating our nervous system, right? I'm telling you, I've been doing a lot of nervous system work over the last few weeks, just recognizing limitations, recognizing when I get to a certain point and I'm like, okay, I have this goal and I'm there, right? I'm with the goal. I'm doing the work. What is that point that I get to that let's say if I'm reading a book, right? I may be reading a great book. This book may be doing its big one for me. I get to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm putting the book down, right? No longer reading the book. Why? What happened? That actually recently just happened with one of my books. But you want to know what I always trust? I always trust and I always know and I always believe that everything serves my highest good, right? So I'm reading this book right now called Successful Women Think Differently. I've already been talking about the book. And I'm at a point in the book where it's having me write down my strengths. And it's talking about the strengths across the board, strengths in relationships, finances, so on and so forth. And it's just long. I know my strengths, right? But I just feel like it's so long to go down and just write all of those things. Like I'm already bored with it, right? Again, so I'm in this battle with myself. Okay, is spirit telling me, okay, I can close the book right now and move on to something else that is more aligned, right? Because I do know and understand my strengths, right? I do. I know where. It's a good book, though. I kind of am like, I don't want to write all of this. I want to just keep reading, if you understand what I mean. So I'm like, is that a point where I'm just like, where my nervous system is like, okay, I'm over it? Or is this a point that I've actually transcended and it's time for me to go to the next chapter and keep, you understand what I mean? That's where the awareness comes into place, because you need to know and understand what's actually happening. Am I at a spot where I'm making an empowered decision? Am I making the decision from a mindful, powerful place? Or am I doing this because I'm in fight, flight, fawn, freeze within my nervous system? Okay? So if we get clarity on that, then we can understand what we need to do in order to soothe ourselves. I should have made this whole thing into an alliteration, like all A's, all S's, all, whenever you're doing things, in order to help you remember it better, it's good to have some sort of similarity around the things that you are working on implementing. Okay? You don't understand what I mean? And so I give you this insight just as a way to support you in the soothing and also just in your change and in your transformation, right? It's like a person that's saying they want to stop smoking, right? Most people can't just put the cigarette or put the weed down. Most people can't. They have to replace it with something. They have to say, okay, instead of smoking, I'm going to, most people do this like in the real world, they'll vape or something. Instead of weed or instead of a cigarette, they'll smoke a vape or something. You get what I mean? So whenever you are changing something or transforming something to allow something new to enter into your space, your nervous system is going to get worked up. You have to know, what do I do in this moment to soothe myself, right? In a healthy and holistic way. Got it? So for some, the deep breaths, right? Really taking a deep breath, getting into your body, feeling where is that energy showing up at in your body? How does the energy show up? Does it make you want to just run away from it? Right? But just really doing something that can help you to remember that you are safe. Right? You have to remember that you're safe. And as you start to remember that you're safe, because we got to think, the fears that we have, when it comes down to being soft, being secure, having stability, having love, whatever it is, right? Reaching that 5K, 10K month, right? Whatever your fears or anxieties are, most of them are not real, right? When I say that, think about it this way, how you want something. Okay, I'll take, okay. Can I share one with y'all? I'm going to share one with y'all. Most of y'all are a part of my community, so I can be honest with y'all, right? Because y'all have been around for a while. And I've been saying the same thing for a while, and I'm just fed up with my own bullshit. I'm really fed up with my own bullshit today. I really am. Like, I really am. I got to be fed up with my own shit, right? I have been called to host an in-person event for I don't know how long. And I have come up with so many different things in my mind as to why I couldn't do it or didn't do it. And it's just so not real. And I know it. I know that it's not real. It's so bad. Jenny, Iman, we've been having this conversation for forever. It be such lies. The things that we will tell ourselves, right? Probably shouldn't have used that example because that example is still, coming into manifestation. But you know what I got to do? You know what I got to do? I just got to make the website, not the website, make the page, set the price, say a location, and put it out there. Because right when somebody buys it, it's irreversible. It's happening. Can't go back, right? Can't go back. That example I probably shouldn't have used, even though it's a very real example that I fully understand. I'm going to put it out there. I might be putting it out there. Ooh, I may do something real juicy in like January or something. Yeah. Ooh, that might be real sweet. Okay, we'll figure it out. Let's think of a better example. Just in that same type of realm, you know, I've had fears or I've had thoughts that, you know, doing this work on my, like, okay, I've had this question to myself before, like, Desiree, is it really worth it? Like what you do, making these videos, going live, whatever, like, is it? You know what I mean? And I've had thoughts come into my mind, which were lies, right? To be like, you know, you only be having these few people come on your live or on watch your playbacks and your view count and your this. I've told some of y'all about this, you know, and things like that. People aren't really picking up what you're putting down. People ain't really feeling it. People aren't really vibing with your vibe, right? People aren't really getting you, right? Or you know, I've literally had these conversations in my mind and questioned if I was actually doing the right thing. You know, am I channeling? I know I got the energy, and that's the feminine. I know I got the energy. I know I got the work. I know I have literally the intuitive power, right? The spiritual power, right? I know I got the gift. I know I have the talent. So that's where the masculine comes into place. Let me tell you this. And this is why you have to do this. This is why you got to be so real with yourself, right? Because here's the thing. I know I got all. I know I have it all, right? And I say that in so many layers. I say that in so many layers, right? But with real introspection, if I say, okay, I have all of this feminine power, this is God-given feminine power, this is creative power, this is womb power, right? And ladies, if you've never seen my course, Womb Alchemy, get that, right? Because if you want to be able to do what I'm doing right now, right, which is decode your own life. My course, Womb Alchemy, teaches you how to decode your life, how to decode yourself, how to look at your past, look at your present, and look at your future, how to cleanse and clear some of the stories and the experiences of your womb so that you can become the creative woman that you're meant to be, so that you can be the intuitive, the powerful woman that you're meant to be. What I'm doing right now is just receiving things spiritually, allowing myself to be transformed by it, right? Allowing myself to be vulnerable about it, because that vulnerability is also synonymous with softness. It's an openness, it's a receptiveness. My openness allows me to receive insight from God. See, when a woman is hard, her womb is hard, her heart, you have three minds: the heart, the mind, the brain mind, right? This the thought mind. You have the heart mind, you have the womb mind, right? And so when we're hardened, it's not just I got a hard heart. No, you have a hard heart, you got a hard head, and you have a hard womb. Okay? So being able to tap in this way in your own life and being able to do the alchemy, right? Okay? D-Ray, divine relationship alchemist, okay? Being able to do the inner alchemy is the key to transformation. If you can't decode and decipher the messages of your own life and do the work to birth a new reality, what is life as a woman? You're not living. You're a machine. You're robotic. You're just going, right? So womb alchemy is great for those women who need help with just really being able to decode your life. And then softness embodied is about how do you embody that work. And so everything that I'm sharing with y'all right now, like with my YouTube channel, my willingness to be open about it and be like, okay, I know I have the feminine power, the goodness. But spirit. So I was having these thoughts, I was having these fears, like, is it really good? What's missing? Is this the channel? Is this the masculine container that I am meant to filter my work through? Because here's the reality, which is why I really got to do my in-person event, because I really feel like that's where I'm meant to do the most work, is in person with people. But YouTube is my medium of connecting with people. But once I get in person with women more, that expands, right? But it's a multitude and a conglomerate of like all the things, right? Masculine energy helps you to figure out the structure to channel your feminine energy to ultimately create the life and the reality that you desire. But like I was saying, when it comes down to the lies that we tell ourselves, right, is that, of course, I still get to do what I want to do. I still get to live the life that I want to live. I still get to live a beautiful dream life. I love my life, really. So even with the YouTube numbers, I still get amazing clients. With however many views I get, I work with amazing people. I love what I do. I love my one-on-one coaching. I love teaching my classes. I love doing the readings. Like what? So these lies were making me question my work. I say, fuck it. I say, forget it. I still keep showing up. I still keep doing the work. I still reap these beautiful, wonderful rewards. Right? So going back to what you have to do to reclaim your softness, you have to soothe yourself in those moments where the fear is coming up. The nervous system is activated, and where you're feeling the persecution, you're feeling the anxiety, you're feeling the uncomfortability. Learning to soothe yourself, however you do it, is so essential to support you in staying in the frequency of being who and what you desire to be. Because, the key to it is, first of all, here's the facts. Softness, being soft, you're not going to be soft 24/7, 100 days, 345, whatever the damn saying is, 365, right? 24/7, 365. You're not going to be soft every day, right? Because guess what? In those moments where that nervous system spikes, that's a moment of tension. That's a moment of hardness. If you're in fight or flight, this is you in fight or flight. It manifests as freeze. It manifests as fawn. But energetically speaking, this is still you. Hard. So the soothing, getting into your body, taking those deep breaths, sipping some tea, doing some exercise. Ooh, this is one of my favorite things. I'm telling y'all, God does not play about me. manifestations be happening so damn quick. Like, man, this is my Serenity oil blend. It's so juicy. See, if I'm getting anxious, because listen, we're all humans, right? We are having a human experience. And sometimes I feel myself get into an anxious state of being. I realize that I'm more of a freeze person or a fawn. No, it depends on the situation, right? It depends on what it is. So what I'm realizing about my own energy, which I'm so grateful to Spirit, right, is that I can be like, oh, little avoidant, right? That's all those things is these attachment styles, right? All it is our nervous system response. It's the way we've been taught through our life experience to protect ourselves. And I think when we understand it from that, that's a part of what creates a level of softness. A level of softness is birthed through that. Because you realize, wait, hold on. This fighting energy, this protecting energy, this fear energy, this procrastination energy, because it happens in so many ways. All of these things that make me hard and resistant to living my life are not who you are. It's not who you are. It is a reaction. It's a reaction. And so when we realize that we get to change the reaction because we are the observer, because we are in tune with God, we are one with the divine, we are the higher self. When we realize that we are more than our nervous system, we're more than our bodies, we are more than our experience. When we realize that we are infinite and we get to step in and transform that through our conscious awareness, through soothing ourselves, yeah, I'm going to be soft. Why would I fight? It's not a fight. It's not a fight. It's a decision. It's a choice. Now, the battlefield of the mind. Battlefield of the mind. Because the question becomes, which is so good, the question becomes, which one do you want more? What do you want more? Do you want the new reality, the abundance, the love, the fortune, the peace, the joy, the excitement, the orgasm, the ecstasy? Do you want that more than you want what is comfortable? Right? Even though you have the awareness that what is comfortable no longer serves who and what you desire to be. Right? So we have to have this willingness to push even when it's uncomfortable. And the thing is that is so good is that when we really dig into it, you realize that it wasn't that hard anyways. Allowing the love, making the peace, exercising, eating healthier, keeping your house clean and organized, being intentional about building your relationships, doing an in-person event, you realize it was never that hard. It was a lie. How many of you had been putting something off or not doing something that you know you needed to do, that you knew was in alignment with who you wanted to be, but kept putting it off for every reason under the sun. You were so creative as to why you did not do it. How many of you? And the wonderful thing about this is that some of these things that you've put off are things that serve your highest good holistically. And I'm talking about simple things like taking a spiritual bath, lighting some candles, getting that bath. Something in your spirit says, take a bath today. Light the candles, turn off the lights, give you some essential oils, find you some good music, and just relax. Something told you to do that. But for some reason, you let the busyness, the kids, the husband, the kitchen, the food, the job, or you just don't do it. You settle for watching TV. Right? Third thing you have to be able to do in order to start reclaiming your soft feminine self, which is the key to manifesting a soft life, is you have to receive. There are so many ways to receive. There's so many ways to receive, right? Receive this message. Receive this message without guilt, right? Some of you will be watching a video online, let's say like this, and this video is really healing you. This video is giving you the inspiration that you need to be your best self. This video is sparking ideas of consciousness inside of you, right? This video is making you feel something good, inspired. And you'll tell yourself, "Ooh, I should not be watching this video. I should have been doing this work," or I should have been, ooh, I'm just, right? Receiving without guilt, right? Receiving without feeling like you had to give something back. 11:11. Let me see. Come on. 11:11. Let's go. I think we get 11:11 every single time we on live. Okay? You got to be able to receive, right? If you can't receive, all you are doing is deflecting. If you can't receive, all you are doing is projecting. And if you're constantly projecting and deflecting and those things, putting out, giving, asking the man out on the date, saying you don't mind proposing to the man. I know that's not y'all. I'm playing. I know that's not y'all. I'm playing with y'all because I know that's not y'all. But the ways in which you do it, and I'm not saying, and let me go back. I'm not saying don't take no man out on a date, because I take my man out on dates, right? But we like that. We like that already. Receiving is how you get the things that you need, right? Nobody said that you had to do it all on your own. That's a lie. That's, again, one of those lies. You got to do it by yourself. You got to make decisions by yourself. You got to make the money by yourself. You got to take care of the kids by yourself. You got to do all your transforming by yourself. You got to figure all of this spiritual stuff out by yourself. Just you. First of all, no, you don't. That's number one. Number two, you're not designed that way. No matter how much you may think you were made to be an independent woman, you're not designed that way. You were designed to be interdependent. You were designed to receive first. You actually were designed to receive in order to give. Clock that. Clock that. You are designed to receive in order to give. That is why you receive that semen, to give a man a child, to give a man legacy. That's how you were designed. You were designed to receive conceptually. Oh my God. Intuitively, you were designed to receive first. So why would it be the opposite in your physical experience? In your physical experience, why would your priority be to give? And here's the multi-leveled, multi-layered spiritual thing here. When I'm talking about receiving, yes, that man needs to pay. Okay. Yes, that man needs to pay. Okay. Yes, he needs to pay. He needs to pay and provide. That's number one. But I'm also talking about your ability to receive wisdom, insight, knowledge. That reception, that ability to receive makes way to be provided for. And this is the juicy thing. Not just provided for by a man. Your ability to receive makes you a provider for yourself. How juicy is that, to be able to provide for yourself and have provision from a partner? Right? How juicy is that, to have provider money for yourself that gets to be pleasure money? We get to have that. Why not? You get to have that. Right? So our ability to receive is so multi-layered. It's receiving from spirit. It's receiving from God. It's receiving from the people around you. It's receiving for your value and your worth. Oh my God. Like, man, receiving, like, receiving the love from your kids, receiving the love from your partner, receiving money for your services. And I'm not talking about just basic. See, that's learning to receive more. It's such a layered conversation. It's such a layered conversation. I'm talking about learning to receive at the highest level. You know, all the love, all the money, receiving more money than you could spend. It's levels to how much we're able to receive. Right? And so I don't want us to think about receiving just on our baseline. Right? Because we all have a baseline of reception. Like, it's like this. And this is so interesting, right? Because I know y'all seen the Terrence Crawford clips about his mom saying she never gave him a hug, never gave him a kiss, right? She never told him she loved him. She would give money. She would give money to boys in the neighborhood to see who could beat his ass. Right? I found out through a conversation with my good sis, Phyla. My good sis, Phyla, and I, we were talking yesterday. And she was telling me that Terrence Crawford did say also in that interview, I didn't see the whole interview, but she said Terrence Crawford, the boxer, he had a father that told him that he was going to be the greatest. And so he held on to the seed that his father planted in him in order for him to be able to transmute and use all of that energy for his mother, for him to become the greatest boxer, right? But when your level of receiving, whether it's like Terrence Crawford, never receiving the words "I love you" from your parents, never receiving a hug, never receiving the things that you wanted and the things that you needed, right? When your level of receiving is so low, you may be calling and asking God for more, but because you barely received those things that were imperative for your survival as a kid, how do you think you're going to be able to receive 20,000, 30,000, a husband, we're only ladies here. Hey, ladies, a husband that loves you unconditionally, children that admire you and are inspired by you, a job or a business that is going to really make you wealthy and fruitful and abundant and purpose driven, you know? So we have to learn to even increase our level of receiving. And you know, one of the ways for me, I've had to learn to receive love more, you know, with my kids and even with Dream. I was thinking about this. You know, I didn't grow up in a hugging household. It's still kind of awkward right now to hug my mother. Do I know my mother loves me? Absolutely. My mother is like, I mean, we talk about my mother all the time, okay? She's my girl, and we learn a lot. We love a lot through each other, right? But we didn't give hugs. And, you know, Dream is a hugger, or his mom is a hugger. And so I've had to learn, I'm still learning and still working at getting better at being about initiating hugs with Dream. When he comes arms open, I can receive that. Right? But, and I'm just talking about the layers of love. There's deeper. There's more hugs to be given, right? There's more love to be made and to be experienced, right? But if my receiving in love has been challenged based off of my life experience, then this is something that I have to learn to expand, right? And so one of the things in order to invite more softness and feminine energy into your lives is understanding at what level are you able to receive from people and at what level are you able to receive from God, right? Last one of the 4 things needed to really be able to reclaim your softness, right? First of all, if y'all are having a good time in here, learning something new, picking up something, let me know in the comments, right? I'll be wanting to hear from y'all. Like, yes, D-Ray, this is good. I'm vibing. I get it. I'm liking it. It's resonating. Something, right? Definitely do that. Definitely do that when the video ends. A lot of people comment when the videos are done, and I always appreciate that. Thank y'all so much for supporting, affirming, reaffirming, because many of you have already affirmed through joining classes, through getting readings. I mean, y'all are my people. So thank y'all for always supporting and reminding me that I'm on the right path. I appreciate y'all for that. Right? Thank y'all. Right? This last one for reclaiming your soft feminine energy. So juicy. This one is so juicy. This one has been working on me. That's the thing. Before I teach a class, y'all, Spirit works on me and refines me in all the most divine and sacred ways. Right? And this one, I think I talked to y'all about it last week or something. Oh no, I may have talked about it with a friend or something. I don't know. But this last one has been working on me a lot. And it's grace. It's grace. I want y'all to do this with me right now. Just do this with me right now. I want you to take an inhale in through your nose. And when you breathe in through your nose, I want you to feel the spirit of grace. What does grace feel like? Grace feels like a hug. Grace feels like security. Grace feels like love. Grace feels like ease. Grace feels like peace. Grace feels like acceptance. Grace feels like an embrace. Grace feels like a hug from your grandma. That's grace. Right? So as you inhale and as you hold, I want you to feel grace. My niece, her name is Charlie Grace. She has a beautiful name. Her parents did a good job naming her Charlie Grace. But I want you to feel grace. As you exhale, I want you to let go of anything that is stopping you from feeling that grace. I got to talk about my niece because I done talked about the word grace for so long, but Spirit just brought up Charlie Grace, right? So first of all, again, you have to know that God is always providing. Let me sip on that. Excuse me. I don't know why going into this topic with my niece is so good. When I explain it to y'all, right? When I soften in real time, okay? You want to know what it looks like to be soft? Is this. It's all of this, okay? It's even this background, okay? It's this background. The background was chosen on purpose, okay? Visualize yourself here because that's what I'm doing, okay? That's what I'm doing, okay? It's softness, okay? Spirit puts me, anything that I'm talking about or teaching, trust me, Spirit is working on me. I'm just graced. Yeah, there's that grace word again. I'm just graced with the ability to perceive, to apply, and to share. That's it. Okay. It's for both of us. I'll be in it too. Okay. I'll be in it too. Grace, softness, right? That's hilarious. Okay. As I was saying, Spirit will do things like what I just experienced right now to give you that clarity and to give you that insight. And that's the portion of receiving that you have to find. That's why reception is so important, right? You just open yourself up to be able to take in. And then that grace. My niece's name is Charlie Grace. And my brother, when she was born, him and I had a conversation that we would call her C Grace. C for Charlie Grace. C Grace. C Grace. And me being who I am and how I perceive and how I receive, I told him, I said, Chris, every time you see your daughter, I want you to see grace. What does that mean? See the grace of God on your life. When you see her, you are seeing how God has blessed you in spite of your shit, in spite of your trauma, in spite of poor decisions that you've made in response to trauma, in spite of whatever is happening in your life. When you see her, see grace. She is your reminder of the grace of God. What is grace? Grace is a gift. Grace is a gift. Grace is a power. Grace is peace in the presence of chaos. Grace is receiving something good, even though sometimes your thoughts, your actions, your beliefs didn't warrant that thing. That's grace. And so I told my brother that when his daughter was born. And I mean, when you see her now, the girl's a beast. When I tell you the girl's a beast, this is what I mean. I mean, listen, I mean this in the best way possible. I mean this in the best way possible because as women, we got to be fierce. We got to be fierce. We got to be go-getters while at the same time maintaining our softness, right? We need that. You got to have that balance. You cannot just be just coasting and not intentional about what it is you do, what it is you say, and who it is you are being. You can't just let life dictate who you're going to be. My niece Charlie Grace, when I tell you she barely has a filter. When I like she don't have no filter. Like the girl is, I don't even know how to say this, right? Because she's still a kid and I'm trying to still be, I'm still, you know what I mean? Like kids have their ways. Y'all know you can tell how a kid is going to be from young. Okay. Do y'all know? Think about a kid in your life. Think about a kid in your life. You've seen some of their qualities, their characteristics. You've seen some of their stuff since they was a kid. You already know what type of personality that kid gonna have, right? My niece, no holds barred, and that can come in multiple ways. That can come in multiple ways. Okay. Why do I feel like her energy is coming up for us? Is because there's nothing that is stopping you from embodying softness. No holds barred. Nothing. There's absolutely nothing in the way of you being able to manifest a soft life. Nothing. Her energy is saying, don't bullshit yourself. Don't bullshit yourself. What is it that makes you hard? What are the ways that you're not allowing yourself to be molded, shape-shifted? That's what softness is about. Right? So see Grace, Charlie Grace is coming up to say, take off the mask. Take off the mask and be gracious and graceful with yourself still. With all that you see, with all that you do, with all the things that you realize are some bullshit about yourself. I just told y'all, I want to say for 2 years now, I've said I was going to do an in-person event. This is going to be my year. This is going to be my year. I'm doing it this year. I'm doing it this year. Doing it this year. And when I'm saying that, I really believe that. But then some sort of fear, some sort of anxiety. I already kind of told y'all what it was. I've learned that I know how to make money online. I can sell a course and get paid. I can do some readings and get paid. I got a course coming. Why do I say that? I say that because I know the readings are powerful. I have no doubt in my mind that when I tap into that energy for my people, you're going to receive insight that is going to change you and transform you. I know it. No doubt in my mind. You will be moved. In my classes, us women working together, I guarantee you, You will be activated. There's something in you that is going to transform, awaken, and be renewed for the better. You're going to tap into that feminine energy. You're going to attract more masculine energy. You're going to feel more sacred and sexy. You're going to feel more of your magical self. Your manifestations are going to come through easier, right? You're going to feel confident in trusting yourself. You're going to start feeling good about yourself, looking in the mirror like, I am that girl. I can do, be, and have everything that I want. I know that factually. Do we understand? So with already being comfortable in that realm and now telling myself, oh, do you think these same people are going to show up in person? You don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, you don't know how many people live in Houston, how many people are actually willing to travel for you. But I'm willing to call myself out on my bullshit and still have love for myself and not judge myself and not criticize myself and understand, oh, this is so good. See, this is what I learned out of the book, Successful Women Think Differently by Valerie Burton. Thank you, sis. Is that even when you don't succeed at something that you desire to do, it does not have to define you. It doesn't have to mean you're weak, you're scary, you have no follow through. No. What we're sick. So let me get logical with y'all. Let me get logical with y'all with it, right? To help you to understand that everything is about how we are defining ourselves. Here's the experiences I've had over the past few years where I could convince myself that this is why I did not do the in-person event. 2020, when was Kai born? Kai is actually about to turn 5. He's about to turn 2. So at the end of 2023, mind you, Kimmy was born 2021. Kai was born 2023. 2 years after having a new baby is back to back, right? It's back, period. You know? Kai 2023, raising a new baby, everything that comes with that. Like, they say that women don't come back into the fullness of who they are until 2 years. Until after 2 years of having their kid. That's why your girl is looking like how she's looking right now. Kai is turning 2 in 2 months. I'm 2 years without, and I'm still breastfeeding. So I still don't have solidarity in complete sovereignty of self. Do we understand? So I could logically say, you know what, Desiree, you had a baby. It's been 2 years. You're finally getting back to yourself. Now you're able to focus on yourself and do what you need to do. Kai is older. You're able to separate from him a little bit more. I could say all of that. You understand what I mean? And it's not to say that those things are a lie. This is why what I'm telling you is so important, right? Grace is not defining yourself by the mistakes that you've made or the things that you didn't do. Grace is saying, I love you and, right? I love you and let's work on it. I love you and let's take action. I love you and let's do the thing. Now, grace is saying, in this transformation, you are going to awaken something in you. Grace is saying, as you're going through it, you're going to learn about these skills, this insight, this wisdom, this love, this development. Grace is saying there's something to gain out of this challenge. Grace is saying your gifts are going to be activated through this work. That's grace. And so instead of guilt tripping ourselves, instead of down talking ourselves, instead of judging ourselves, right? The Valerie Burton technique is to attribute all of those things that didn't work out to situation and circumstance. You get to say, just had a baby 2 years ago, or just had a baby within this last year or two. It's taken a while to kind of regain myself. I'm getting back to myself. I'm feeling confident. I'm ready. Right? Or, you know what? Some of y'all probably wanted to host events. Let's say 2020. Here's a great example. 2020, you want to start a business, you want to do something great, boom, COVID hits, right? In those moments, you don't see yourself as, oh, I failed, I didn't do the thing, blah, 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 blah. You say, okay, it was an interesting year. COVID happened. People weren't spending money like they were used to spending, or even right now, people aren't spending money like they can spend. Inflation is happening. Grace is not defining yourself by things that were outside of your control. It's gone now. It's gone now. Grace is saying, what am I going to do today? Okay. Listen, the Softness Embodied Course is happening on October 11th. The class day is October 11th. Save the date. Okay. Save the date. Keep it in mind. When the card opens, be ready to join. Okay. Be ready to join that class. We're going to be going over things like we talked about today, but in greater detail, helping you to really understand how to be soft. This is just the start, right? This is just like and so we're going to be continuing the conversation from now until then. I'm so excited to build with y'all. Yes, October 11th, that is a Saturday. It's a birthday party. It's a birthday party. You know, for the last 2 years or so, I've done things on my birthday. I will tell you, this is a paid for course. Let me put that out there, right? I say that because for the last 2 years of my birthday, I've done live classes and like a ritual practice for free. Like it was just like, come hang out with me for my birthday. This year, it is a paid course, but yes, it's priceless, right? You're going to get your money back within the first 5 minutes. Do we understand? Like what you're going to receive is just this hide and realize essence that I've come into about how to just exist as yourself, right? I think my last time teaching womb alchemy, I think I taught womb alchemy at the beginning of this class of this year. I think I did womb alchemy 2.0, which is amazing. We're going to be doing that soon, but it's been a while since teaching a class, right? And so all of those months of work and introspection and transformation, I'm just excited to share. And we got a lot of new and amazing things coming. And this October 11th Softness Embodied class is the first thing of many things that are coming. Okay. So y'all have any questions about this work that we've done today? It's been such a pleasure. I feel totally activated, turned on, tapped in, and so damn grateful, right? My heart is full. I shed a tear today. Like, thank you, Spirit. That's the love. Like, you can't beat getting to do what it is you love with amazing people on the same frequency and wavelength as you, right? Like, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. Any questions on softness? If not, peace and love. I appreciate y'all. It's been good. Let me say hey to y'all, right? Because I do want to acknowledge all of y'all, right? Iman, hey again, sis. Sharika, hey Sharika. I got a cousin named Sharika. Mac Minaj, love that. You do makeup, Mac Minaj. Jenny, hey sis. Love you, girl. Hey, the Tax Maven Agency, vibes of love and light to everyone. First of all, that's a brand new name I've seen in the live stream. So welcome. Thank you so much for coming here. Who else? Stacy. Hey, Stacy, girl. The Modest Moore. Hey. Shaquila. Hey, my sis. Listen, I love y'all. Y'all get ready. Y'all get ready for class. Y'all get ready. We got a lot of stuff coming. I am so excited. Y'all don't know. Spirit has put a fire under my ass, which I'm so grateful for. I attribute softness to being able to receive all of these things. Let me see what Shaquila said. Beautiful. I missed the video, but I feel like I caught it all. Funny you talking about softness. It's all on my timeline. See, I be knowing. I be seeing the whole bunch. But see, I think a part of it is like paying attention to what's going on, even though the timeline wasn't the thing that inspired this class a conversation I had with Jenny in Miami is actually what inspired this class. Okay, so it's interesting that it's coming up a lot. And I think with it coming up a lot, it's a great thing for me because I get to market to people who haven't heard my content, but who are on this frequency of understanding softness instead of on this frequency of softness as nails done, hair done, everything did, right? Who wants to understand softness from a spiritual perspective, which makes way for the aesthetically beautiful experiences. So I love and appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Listen, share this video. Share this video. If you know people are out here talking about softness, put them on to the realness, okay? Put them on. Love and appreciate y'all. I will be seeing y'all soon. Peace.